Hello and welcome back for what will probably be the last in this other side of the hill playthrough from NAC Wargames. I strongly suspect that we will not survive this particular turn. So, but with that, we'll jump right in. We've got to survive 2 operations phases because we're in the summer, but we'll start with the bombing of Germany. So I have -1 unrest and -2 replacements. German replacements, I've got, basically I get to place 2 Wehrmacht replacements. That's pretty much all I've got at this point. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to place them here. 1 there. And 1 there. Okay. No satellite replacements. Production directive. You know, don't particularly. Oh, sorry. The production table 6. I'm down to 6, and I don't think it matters. I can't even go that far right now. I've got all those, and then okay. So then for production directive, we will. We'll use forced labor again with a healthy dose of ick. Unrest -1 for bribing generals. No military directive, so strategic warfare. The allies are only going to roll 3 dice. We, however, are rolling 0. So the allies aren't really aren't having a big turn here, so they get basically 2 hits, but there's nothing. Everything's at 0 at its lowest, so I don't think that there can be any effects there, as near as I could tell. So that's that. So now movement, and I really wish I could move some of these guys out of Italy, but I can't because I can only move, like, I could move them there, and then they would be stuck there until next turn. So I'll just leave them in Italy, where hopefully they can do some good. All right, command. We've definitely got a bunch of generals who are being questioned. Let's see who we've got. So we've got a vacancy there, dissent up there. Actually, we don't have as many as I thought, but partly that's because we don't actually have a lot. We didn't end the turn with a lot of those guys on the board. Okay, so student is being questioned and Ruoff is being questioned. So student will be the shaded die. Well, both of them are going to end up off the board. Ooh, boy. Where are you? I guess it probably doesn't matter that much at this point. I don't know where. Oh, student would be in here. Sorry. He's assigned. All right. So I'm going to get back to Black Orchestra and all that in a second. So then we've got these 2, Rouse and Harpa. So a 3 and a 4. The shaded die is the 3. All right, so he is going to be removed as well. And this guy, I rolled a 4, and he is a 4, so we place a dissident marker on him. Again, that will hardly matter because he won't be coming back in any time in the game. So we draw 3 Black Orchestra cards. That's the last 3 orchestra cards we have. And unrest goes up by 3, so we basically will take that in a decrease on the fanaticism track. And then these 3 generals are out of the game. All right, now I have a bunch of vacancies I need to fill. Let's see, let's grab one more here just so that I don't forget. All right, so let's start with OB West and find out who. Actually, I'm just going to pause, do this, and come back. Okay, so one thing I did notice, by the way, that Bush was actually being questioned. I rolled for him. He survived. We've got von Manteuffel in Poland. We've got Holit in Yugoslavia. Janicki is still in northern Italy. Kirch is in southern France, and Hosbach is in charge of OB West. I'm not even going to bother explaining what any of their capabilities are because, frankly, most of them are going to be useless in my current situation. Axis offensive, there's nothing. Western offensive. So we still have a potential landing, amazingly. And they are going to land 18, 20, 19, 24, 25. So 18, 19, 18, 20, 19, 18, 20, 19, 24, 25. So basically, the Allies are going to pull off a landing here in Greece. All right. So now, for the Allies, we have an attack here and an attack here. We don't have an attack here because they have that no offensive marker there. So let's start. I'm going to start with the attack. Let's start with the attack up here, I guess. Why not? Why not? So, okay. So, the Allies will be rolling. So they get 3. It can just ignore those because my thing's at 1. So the Allies are going to be rolling 5 dice. 4 for the number on the card, and 1 because I have only my air naval superiority or control is at 1 pretty much everywhere. All right, so let me just remember. I can't even remember what Hostback does. And he's going to be the most probably useful guy, I think, here. So I can change 1 white hit or gray hit for an artillery. Okay. So this is our combat. All right, well, we can actually change that for an artillery. I know there's an artillery on here somewhere. Thank you. They get 4 hits and that. So let's just check out the combat event first. Carpet bombing. If there are no disputed areas in the Western Front, well, there are. Reduce 1 German army in a disputed area in the Western Front. Well, I'm going to reduce this army. Okay. So now I have 2 hits, he has 4 hits. So we have to take that in essentially 2 retreats. So 1, 2. So he has taken over Hamburg, and my resources are now down to, I think, I'm guessing, as low as they can possibly go. Okay, so that is that. So we are one space closer to the collapse of Germany. Now we are looking at southern France. So the Allies are going to be rolling 5 dice. Technically 6. I wonder, is 5 the maximum? All right, well, it doesn't say. So I'm going to add a die to that. But I also remembered I need to roll 1 extra white die over here. Because I was in rough terrain. So actually, they only get 1 advance. So we actually hold on up there for a turn in Hamburg. Yay! Okay, so I've got 2 dice. I'm defending in a river. I can use him to change something, and then Kirch. Let's see. Kirch. I forgot to assign a leading general, by the way, to that last one. Now that I think about it. So I'm going to. Yeah, we'll have assigned him in Norway, I guess. Okay. So now we have got. Sorry, Tippelskirch. What is it? His ability is may reroll a combat event. So rolling all of that. Oh, not too terrible. So I've got 2 combat events from this. And then I've got 2 hits to deal with. 2 combat events. So let's see what these combat events are. Finland surrenders. If combat is with the Soviet faction, +1 hit. Again, I think that should be if the combat isn't with the Soviet faction, because otherwise it doesn't really make any sense. Oh, so it goes on the bottom. I have a feeling I'm going to see Patton in a second. Lend-Lease. If the U.S. combat is with the Western faction, so the combat is with the Western faction. So we're gonna put that on the bottom. I may not have. There's Patton. +2 hits to the Western combat roll. So they have 4 hits. So pretty simple. I'm not even going to bother drawing another combat card because all those aren't going to be valid. So we take that, and then they're going to take 2 retreats. Sorry, he's going to be questioned, and he's going to be questioned. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Well, actually, they're all questioned because they took retreat, two losses and a retreat. Oh, so they're all going to be questioned. So, okay, so there we go. That has all collapsed brilliantly. Oh, I forgot my allied combat here. So I've got, oh, this is probably exceeding the stacking limit. Yeah, it is exceeding the stacking limit. Okay. I probably misrolled that last time. Sorry. All right. So let me remind myself what Yannicki does here, because he's going to be the one that matters. I can re-roll 1 miss. Okay. So what I'm going to be rolling here then is, oh, and leading general. I mean, this guy can't be used because he's only useful on the Eastern Front, and I'm not on the Eastern Front. I'm just going to assign him as the leading general because I have no satellite armies over here, so his effect isn't even going to help over there. So we'll just get him out of the way, and then I don't have to worry about leading generals from here on out. So probably couldn't even have had this many in here, but I'm just going to leave it for now and not worry about it. So I'm rolling 2 yellow dice and 2 gray dice. The extra gray die comes from Kesselring's ability with regard to rough terrain. And the allies are going to be rolling 5 dice. 1 extra for the air superiority. All right, wow, pretty good result there. So I've got 2 combat events, and actually I'm going to end up winning this combat. No, it's going to be no, yeah, I'm going to end up winning that combat. And I know these 2 combat events have no effect, so I got to wait till the Eastern Front to play them, so nothing is going to happen there. So I actually win this combat in Italy. We managed to hold them off in Italy for yet another turn. Actually, sorry, I'm going to retcon a little bit. And during strategic movement, I'm going to move this because this will actually allow me to move him in the next phase. So I'm going to actually move him during my first because I got 2 operations phases here. So, all right, now so all these come off the board. And we go over to Soviet Union. All right, so I'm going to kind of choose the order in which I do these at this point because it kind of matters a little bit. So I am going to start here. Let me think about this. So if this guy could cause a bunch of retreats, this guy, let's start. I'm going to start here. There's probably like a really good way of doing this, but so I've got a reduction, possible reduction, and 4 dice. I say possible reduction because Kurt Busch, I get to roll, and if I get a hit, then that reduction doesn't count, and so it doesn't. So I get to roll that. Van Montoffel, completely running out of generals here. Yeah, I can't even get that because can't end up getting that because I won't get a black or a gray result in this combat. All right, well, unfortunately, well, we got 2 combat events. So, first one, +1 hit to the Soviets. So we're going to take that down there, and that will count as a hit. And roll 1 Western die. If the result is a air or a tank, then we get +1 more hit. It is. So they got 5 hits. We got 3. We have to take reductions because we are in a Festung space. Oops, forgot to just grab this. So they take Stettin. Okay, now I'm going to resolve this. Oh, and we've got questioned and questioned. All right, we're going to resolve this. Hullet. So we've got, yeah. We are attacking into rough terrain here. So, allies. They get 5 dice. Okay. Get out of the way here a little bit. Oh, one other thing I have to do, actually. So we can start drawing new cards. The combat cards are coming back. All right. I don't have to worry about Bush's capability. It's not applicable here. Hullet. Where's Hullet? Where did I put him? Oh, I think I put him in the wrong place. Roll 1 gray die instead of 1 yellow die. So, yeah. So he... Yeah, not gonna matter. It doesn't matter. All right, well, we get that, and they're gonna get 2 hits. So, combat event. If there's only 1 German army in the combat, or the combatants, nope. Dismiss the active head of the army group in the area after resolving the battle. So, they get 2 hits, which they will take, as reductions. Because I'm in a Festung space. He gets dismissed. So unrest goes up by 1, and it goes up by an extra 1. It goes up by 1 because he was dismissed, and then an extra 1 because of the card. Great. And then Operation Chastise. Yeah, all right. Oh, okay, so it didn't roll what I needed to, so I don't lose any replacements. Not that it's going to matter anyway. Okie dokie. Now things get even uglier. Well, let's roll for Ukraine. And I have no generals left here. So basically, Kurt Busch is the only guy involved here. So, for the Russians, possible reduction. Yep. All right. So that is that. And so because they are now attacking against nothing, they get 1, 2, 3 advances. Automatically get 3 advances. And then finally up here, they're going to get 3 advances. So if I'm understanding this correctly, they're going to advance into Königsberg. And then they'll continue into here, and they'll continue into here, and they'll advance into Prague. Hopefully that's correct. Actually, that's... And in fact, they should just continue down here into Vienna with that advance. So it's like 1 advance here, no advance is necessary there, 1 advance there, 1 advance there, and they are in Vienna. And so we are basically, our only control left really is in Munich. That's the Soviet offensive. So now we have to do a victory check. So let's just go look at that real quick. But I think I am going to end up losing the game right here, right now. Where are you? Oops, I'm still in combat. Come on. Victory check. If there are 2 control discs or fewer in the collapse of Germany box, there's no effect. If there are 3 active control discs, the head of AQW may roll 1d6. If the result is higher than the number of control discs in the collapse of Germany box, there's no effect. If it's equal or lower, the game ends and all players lose. So there's 6. So I can't roll lower than a 6. So the game ends and quote unquote all players lose. In solo play, you don't actually lose. Oh, also in solitaire play. Okay, so you have to actually you have to survive to fall in order to win this. So that's it. Germany collapses, and the game is over. So let's just talk. It's a couple of like parting thoughts here. So first things first, I recognize I played a vast part of this middle stretch wrong with regard to dismissals, unrest, black orchestra. In the beginning, I overextended here, forgetting, not noticing, or not being aware of the stacking limit in Belarus. I was kind of not paying attention. In fact, on that last turn, I wasn't really paying attention to misfortune events. So I did a lot of things wrong here. And then just, so I want to just recognize that. So like, you know, this game probably would have ended 1 or 2 turns earlier had I been doing a lot of that stuff right. In fact, it probably would have ended when I drew that coup card 2 or 3 turns earlier. There probably would have been a coup d'etat at that point, given the number of black orchestra cards that I had. So just want to talk a little bit about my feelings about the game here at the end. It's a cool abstraction for playing out World War II. I do think it's a kind of a cool abstraction for the way that the war plays out. You know, obviously more complicated than something like Churchill's abstraction, but a reasonable abstraction nonetheless. I don't think it's a great experience solo. I doubt it would be a great experience cooperative because that aspect of the game gets a little mechanical. You're kind of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and you aren't putting a huge amount of thought into it. And slowly but surely, you just become a punching bag for the game, which, you know, I mean, it's fine, but it's not exactly what I would call a fun experience, you know, as you're just being essentially destroyed by the game. And so what I think is missing in that solo and multiplayer experience is that sort of competition that's going on in the multiplayer game, where as this is all happening, you are attempting to see that your faction is essentially the least blamed and comes out of the wreckage of the war with the best reputation, the most popularity, things like that. I think without that, these scenarios don't really work. What I do think might be fun, and what I might do in a separate playthrough, depending on the time that I have, is actually do what they don't tell you to do, which is I just play the beginning of the war, play kind of solo up to Germany's high watermark, and see how well I can do, sort of invading Poland, invading France, all of that. Just kind of to get a feel for how it plays out when Germany is on the ascendance, as opposed to what this scenario represents, which is mostly Germany on the decline. I do have respect for the game. I think, though, however, that I would say it's definitely a game that you have to play multiplayer. Or you don't have to, but I think it's really, if it's going to shine, it's going to shine in multiplayer. So I would encourage people, if they can, to find ways of playing it multiplayer. But props to the designers, the developers of the game. It looks great. And my horrific kind of like ability to play the rules notwithstanding, I think the rules are fairly well structured and written. So with that, we're going to finish this playthrough. In terms of what's coming next on the channel, so my brother's getting back from vacation, and so he and I are going to start firing up Fields of Fire. We're going to jump into a campaign, do kind of a long-term series with a non-Normandy campaign. I think we're going to do Vietnam, because he's actually just coming back from a vacation in Southeast Asia. And then I'm actually going to play some solo in the Shadows from GMT Games. So that'll probably be one of the next things that you'll see on the channel after this. But if you enjoyed this video, just watching the denouement here, it'd be great if you could leave a like, continue to leave comments, and if you enjoy the series, if you enjoy the channel, it'd be great if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell. But that's it for this playthrough of The Other Side of the Hill, and we'll see you next time for something new on Agility Snip's Gaming Table.